The Triwest Healthcare Alliance is working to ensure that veterans in roughly half the nation have access to high-quality health care when it is unable to be provided by the Department of the VA. Our next guest is the president and CEO of Triwest and has more than 30 years of experience, success, and accomplishments in national health care policy development, business development, and leadership in both government and the private sector. He holds a master's degree in administrative sciences from Johns Hopkins University. He just accepted the Large Employer of the Year award from us. Please welcome David J. McIntyre, Jr.
Good afternoon. This month marks 25 years at which we've been privileged to be engaged in this awesome work that we are able to do as fellow citizens. It's a great honor for me and for Triwest Healthcare Alliance to join the American Legion's 102nd Annual National Convention here in our company's hometown of Phoenix. On behalf of our nonprofit owners and all of our employees, there are quite a bit more than 200, I would like to thank the American Legion for honoring our company's dedication to hiring and supporting our heroes. For 25 years, serving America's veterans has been our sacred mission, and we are privileged and dedicated to this important work. Currently, Triwest serves in support of the VA in meeting the healthcare needs in the community for our nation's veterans, offering access to quality care and customer service through the VA Care Network in the Western United States, Alaska, and the Pacific. We just concluded pinch hitting across the entire country because they had to let our colleague contractor go. And in 90 days, we and VA in a partnership stood up half the country and made it accessible. Before that, we were proud to administer the Department of Defense's TRICARE program in the West for 17 years until it got to the point of stable and we needed a new challenge. The majority of us at Triwest are intentionally veterans, military retirees, their spouses, their family members, Guard and Reserve members, and their families. So we know who it is that we're working for and the importance of getting it right for our nation's most deserving citizens. Making health care available, the health care that you've earned, where you need it, when you need it, and how you need it, is absolutely imperative. And it's part of making good at the side of the government on the government's commitment to those of you that have worn a uniform in the United States and their families. Our work will always honor those we serve, and we are not going to stray from our commitments. I'd like to thank the American Legion for the amazing work you do, for the leadership you provide, for being a needed moral compass when we lose our way, and for your effective advocacy. Measuring up to your name and leading the way with effectiveness for 102 years, watching that work and watching that determination and that drive gives us optimism in our work. For 35 years, I've been associated with and admiring your organization, which began when I worked in the Senate for your 2019 Patriot Award recipient, my old boss, Senator John McCain. He, for me, defined patriotism. You got it right. And so do you. The American Legion defines for us what being patriotic is all about. I have so many examples of you walking the talk over the years. But being in here in Phoenix, not far from the Phoenix VA, please permit me to share one of those stories with you. As you know, 2014, Phoenix was the epicenter of the access to care crisis for our nation's veterans. After our organization and the VA were privileged to work at each other's side to address the backlogs and eliminate them within 3 to 4 months, I went down to the VA to have a meeting with the staff and the leadership to hear of the work that they were doing to refine their operations and how we might be helpful to them. I went to leave the hospital, and as I walked out the door, I looked to my left, horrified and disgusted at what I saw on the billboard facing the medical center for all staff and those they served to see as they drove in to the VA Medical Center and as they walked in and from work. In bright letters, the sign read, "They're lying, veterans are dying." I turned to the person I was walking with and asked, I wonder how long the billboard space has been purchased. An hour later, I learned that the party who had put up that demoralizing billboard was 1 week behind in paying for the space. Within an hour, we wired the money to buy the space and signed a long-term lease for its use. We then contacted the American Legion, who led an effort to design a billboard and a message of appreciation to VA and community partners, providers who work in partnership to render care to veterans in need. And that message of thanks, with the American Legion logo on it, continues to stand as a spring to the step of all who work for and all who receive care from the Phoenix VA and in the community. And it has helped the staff there to restore their morale. So I'd like to say thank you. You know, as Secretary McDonough, and God bless him for stepping up to the furnace, right? Coming to the furnace, opening the door, voluntarily shutting it behind him and getting to work. God bless him for doing that. Well, his work and the VA's work and our work at their side to refine the system is not yet done. The providers that we have called to join the chorus of those providing care in the community on our watch have now delivered nearly 50 million appointments. Everything from cancer treatment to hangnails to 3 organ transplants and everything in between. Even babies have been born because of the IVF program that we administer in concert with the VA to couples that would not otherwise able to have a child because of their complications from their service. 50 million appointments. That's not to replace the VA. That's to give the VA the elasticity that they need to serve veterans at or in their communities on a convenient basis and to supplement the direct system with the services that they do not otherwise have. I'm really high on the new secretary. And he's the man for this moment. And he's going to be intense. He can be intense against us, and he should be intense against the system because we have to continue to climb and forge this right steel to make sure that we deliver in the proper way on this nation's commitments to those who have served and their families. I have a feeling that the best is still yet to come, in large part because we're going to have you at our side. In closing, I want to offer our heartfelt gratitude to our nation's veterans and their families, especially at this challenging time. I remember September 11th. In fact, I was in this town waiting for my DOD colleagues to join us for a meeting to plot out the next stage of refinement in our DOD work. And I remember very vividly, like it was yesterday, standing and watching in horror the image on the television and comprehending or attempting to do so on why my colleague was not going to be flying to meet us from Colorado Springs. His life, our lives, all of our lives changed in that instant. And my 6-year-old son was standing with his hands on the television, trying to comprehend what he was watching on the television. Those who served in response to the events of 9/11 deserve absolutely nothing but our very, very, very best from the VA and from Triwest. And I'm here to tell you that if you pay doctors and hospitals on time and correctly, they're glad to see you. And that's what this is all about. It's important for us to remember each other and be there for each other, especially at this difficult time. And so I would just say to all of you that for those that were lost several days ago, you're in our thoughts and our prayers, and our families are as well. And we will, along with others across the country, do everything we can to honor their service. As a fellow citizen, I simply want you to know we appreciate all that you have done and do for this great nation, and we consider it a privilege to stretch ourselves for you. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless America.
At this time, we'd like to recognize the Honorable Vincent